Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to
Instant Finish.
Yes, where we have just finished listening to the epic audio drama from Big Finish, mapping out the Seventh Doctor's last day in The Last Day, Part 2.
8 hours worth of this. 8 hours.
So we've already done our Instant Finish on the first box set, which came out a few months ago. So we'll try not to repeat the same things that we said before.
Got very excited about my rant during the last day. People were sharing it with people.
So going into Part 2,
we had high hopes.
Didn't have particularly much of a excitement going in after Part 1, because Part 1 we really did struggle with.
Well, no, we didn't understand it. So when Part 1 ended, we didn't really know what was going on. We knew there was all these people in disparate... Ace was bringing together all these people, all the villains and all the companions, and that there was a double of the Doctor and a double of Ace, but none of it tied together, none of it was explained. So we figured, didn't we, at the start of this second part, that they would summarise the first part for us.
You could have Sylvester McCoy going, previously on Doctor Who. No, you go straight in.
Here's what happened last time.
So please, 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 do not just buy this set. I don't know why you would. If you're a new fan and you're trying to get into Big Finish and you've just seen, oh, there's Ace and that's the Seventh Doctor and it's supposed to lead into the TV movie, I'm going to pick this up. Please don't. You'll be completely lost. You'll be completely lost if you pick up Part 1 as well.
I'll be honest.
So please don't. If you're new to any Big Finish, or, you know, you're a new fan, you're just getting into it, do not buy either of these sets. Let's just say you need to really know what's going on. Even if you're a fan, there's so many niche references, there's so many other releases that you need to listen to for it really to make sense, to get something out of this. So please do not make this your first Big Finish purchase. You'll be very disappointed. Let's just start there.
Except maybe with your Fraser Gregory, who wants the future, so he's well tuned into all
if
this
you don't
bullshit.
if you don't know better otherwise.
But the trouble is, I think, is that, this is 8 hours long. This set is 4 hours long. And I am baffled as to how something can be of this length, if you'll pardon the pun, and be this insubstantial and have this little to say about this many people. It truly takes some skill to write this many words without substance.
Because the cast is great. We've got Sylvester McCoy, we've got Sophie Aldred, we've got...
Hang on. You said great.
Hang on.
Sophie Aldred.
We've brought back a lot of the characters and actors that have been really big parts of the Seventh Doctor's Big Finish journey. And we've got Kane coming back as well. And, I'm sure some people love that lady from the Third Doctor Adventures that's randomly shoved in there. One too many characters.
The Widow? The Empress?
Whatever, it doesn't matter really.
The woman?
It doesn't matter.
No, because we don't find out anything about her in this.
And the idea of the Seventh Doctor, the last adventure, going into the TV movie, that's the idea. That's what this has been billed as.
People got quite excited about that.
Epic, because
I think they thought suddenly the Daleks would be involved and they would take the Master off to Skaro, and that the Doctor would reach some huge conclusions. And that's why at the beginning of the TV movie, he's so relaxed in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
None of it.
Absolutely nothing to do with The Last Day.
No.
Nothing at all. But the idea of it is, on paper, good. I mean, we had the Sixth Doctor Last Adventure, and I think that was done very well because you had 4 hour stories, slightly linked, but not particularly. You could enjoy them individually. You didn't have to have any foreknowledge, and you knew that last one was, going into the beginning of Time in the Rani. Very well done. Anyone can pick that up. I'd thoroughly recommend that. And 12 episodes going into this. It's a big epic. I just feel like they had an idea for maybe a 4-part story and they were like, shit, we've got 2 box sets in the schedule. There you go, Matt Fitt and Guy Adams. You have to quickly put something together. And they've just shoved everything in to make it sound epic. And there's just nothing to it.
I think the most telling thing about this release is the behind-the-scenes featurette that I endured at the end of this, which is only about 5 minutes long. For a 4-hour box set, it's a tiny little behind-the-scenes. And none of it is about the construction of the story, and all of it is about assembling the cast and the logistics that Samuel Clements, the director, had to go through to get them all together. That tells me everything I need to know about this release. That no serious thought was put into what this was about, what it was trying to say, the journeys that the characters were taking, and none of that was important. What was important was assembling an enormous cast, and they said the same things they said in Once and Future. It's an epic, it's mammoth, all of this. And like you said in Once and Future, all that means is bringing a load of actors together. But you have to have a reason for that. You have to have a through line. You have to have a destination. And the destination here is another invasion of Gallifrey. Woo-wee. We've done it 15 fucking times. We've been doing it ad nauseum in Big Finish since the Time War box sets have been going on. So what the hell is different about this from normal?
It's really sad because it feels like if you were going to get together, right, we're going to write the last story for the Seventh Doctor. We're going to get all these things in. It feels like they've put it into an AI generator. We want all of these different people. This is what happened with Sylvester McCoy in Big Finish. Shove it into an AI generator and bring me 12 episodes.
And it is literally just all the cliches pulled out. That AI machine, may I say, did a sterling job.
And like Matt Fitton and Guy Adams, they do a lot of other stories, and we are being harsh on it because we love a lot of all the creatives that are involved in this have done brilliant things, but I feel like Matt Fitton and Guy Adams, you're burnt out. It feels like you were told you've got to do 2 box sets, make it epic. We need to spread this story out because we've got nothing else at the moment. Sylvester McCoy's only available for a day, so he can only do like a few lines. He's hardly in it at all.
Oh, we'll get there.
And it feels like you're just overworked and you've just had to quickly put something together.
Well, no, he said it wasn't quick. I mean, he said it took years.
But then,
this took years.
Okay, and maybe they did put work into it. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like what is the creative point of putting the story together. That's the problem. Again, we want something epic, we want this, but there's nothing there to it. Come at me, anybody that wrote this, produced this, acted in it, and tell me what was the creative point to say when you sat down and write? What was the creative drive? It's all plot. Where are the character moments?
It's all
actors who were in it. What were like the challenging moments for you in this, for your characters? What were the scenes that you really had to act or you enjoyed acting?
They couldn't say
were you just reading technobabble?
They couldn't say it.
Did you know what you were saying?
Did you notice in the special
features? Please prove me wrong, but come on, tell me anybody that involved in this,
where your creative... I feel as if you're about to cry.
Where was your creative power in this? It just feels like plot. Let's just bash this out, and there we go, shove it out, and everyone will buy it because we've told them it's an epic for the last, for the Seventh Doctor's last day, leading into the TV movie, and it's a good idea. The Seventh Doctor, his character, you've got all of his, he's the manipulative one, he's been weaving all of these different plans, and it all suddenly goes wrong. There's a great idea there, but where is that creative drive there?
No,
I feel like there's no creativity that has been put into this, and it's nothing to do with leading into the TV movie or the last day. There's nothing to say that it's the last day. Like we've had, like I said, like the Sixth Doctor adventure, it was leading into the last adventure. It worked.
Can I talk about some of your points, please?
Okay, sorry.
Otherwise, I really honestly feel I feel as if you're going to break down and I'm going to have to pay for the therapy bill.
You can't afford it. We spent it all on these box sets.
That's true. No, what is missing from this is the Seventh Doctor.
Yeah.
This is 8 hours. I think Sylvester McCoy actually turns up for about 10% of the overall runtime of this. So making this the last day of the Seventh Doctor and barely featuring the Seventh Doctor. And then when you do feature the Seventh Doctor, it's an alternative version of the Seventh Doctor who's either being evil or for some reason being played like a particularly stupid child. And he's going, I don't understand anything in life. What's going on? None of it is playing into Sylvester McCoy's story. I had a really interesting chat with James Lark the other day doing Tales of Terror. And he said, it's baffling that so many writers understand how to write for Sylvester McCoy, because what you have to do is a bit like Ben Aronovich in Remembrance of the Daleks and Battlefield. You have to give him pithy one-liners and charming moments, and McCoy can lean into that. But what they do is they give him reams of technobabble or make him behave out of character and outrageous ways, and they give him lines he just can't say. And it's so weird. It's so weird that this is supposed to be a celebration of this era. The only way it is by bringing together all of these various characters from the Seventh Doctor's audio time, a couple from the TV series as well, and then 2 from the books. And again, that has potential.
But they're all wasted. They are all wasted because a lot of the time there's alternative versions and they've lost all their memories, so they're not their actual characters. And then at the end, they're like, oh, everyone just went back home. There's no ending for any of these characters. It's very lazily done, I feel.
But like you said,
you could have pared it down. You could have given them each a different story or an hour story or just 4-hour stories. Don't just shove out 2 box sets because you need to sell 2 box sets. Do 4-hour stories, condense it down, and just give them something. Give us something to remember. Because we've had everyone shoved together again and again. It's not epic. It's not special.
With that cast list, I said to you, with that cast list, even I, just in a second, could think up a better version of this. Have Benny, Chris and Roz together doing something and have them talk about the new adventures, and that would be celebrating that. Have Ace, Kane and Mel together because they were on TV together and talk about the TV series, and that would be celebrating that. But instead, what they do is the whole sort of maybe the first 6 hours of this is Ace going, oh, I'll tell you why we're doing what we're doing at the end, but let's just go to these random places, and something massive has happened and the universe is in peril and Gallifrey is in peril, and it's all of this. All of this false jeopardy that Matt Fitton loves. We've been there with Doom Coalition. We've been there with what else came after that? Ravenous. We've been there with all of his Eighth Doctor stuff. All of this. Oh, the whole of time is going to come to an end. No, it's not, because it never fucking does. You just say it's going to, and you think we're going to pay attention because I don't care about any of that. You're telling stories on a scale that nobody can possibly give a shit about when you have really interesting characters right in front of you that could be having scenes together that mean something to us because we care about those characters as well. And instead, you just have them spouting fucking technobabble, exposition and plot all the time. It's just, please just stop doing it and go smaller and look at your characters. There's no character journeys in this. So at the end, unbelievably, at the end of this, I was astonished because I thought, well, at least, we've done 8 hours. So I'm sure at the end, they'll all come together and we'll all come to some kind. No, they all just go off to their own times as soon as the stage is over. And he goes, oh, well, I suppose they're all back in their own timelines now. I'm like, what do you mean? That's it?
Even Sophie Eldred on the behind the scenes says you might not understand this to begin with and everything. And that's telling because Sophie Eldred does her homework and she follows these things. And if she's saying that,
and
then
she pulls out one scene, and there is one scene where Ace has to tell Roz, no matter how the timelines diverge, you always die, like she did in the So Violent Sin. And that is a good moment. But one good character beat in 8 hours is not good enough.
I think give them one story each. And you bring back Kane. Great character to bring back. Well done, but he's just shoved in with everyone else. He just blends into the background. They all blend into each other because they're just... What are they doing? They're just hanging around, chatting.
That's a good question as well. Because I kept asking him throughout, what is going on? Like, this threat is so ill-defined. It's so ambiguous, apparently massive, but so mysterious. I'm like, what is the danger here? I went online and said that, and someone said to me, well, it's very clear what's going on. But do you need 8 hours to tell this story?
No, you don't need it.
I don't even think you need an hour to tell this story.
This is just... I think it comes down to budgeting. We've got all these actors. We have to pay them X amount. We need to get X amount back. Therefore, we need 12 episodes to spread out equally so we can get this X amount of money. I think it is budgeting and people being burnt out and being told you've got to do these box sets. I don't think anybody is creatively let's do this. I really want to do this. I think it's work for all of them.
Can I tell you a sad story? Because my friend Rod, who I do the Strictly Come Hamsters with, listened to the first episode of this second set. He was so unimpressed with the first set because no, he's been buying Big Finish. How long have they been going? 25 years? 30 years? He's been buying them. He bought every single release, He listened to the first episode of this second box set and he said, I'm done. He cancelled every single pre-order he has. Hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of pounds because he pre-orders way ahead. He's a very rich man. He's got a lot of money. And they've lost all of those sales because this is just
problem is, and
poor.
We do love a lot of box sets that come out. Look at our other reviews and instant finishes. We're not just being harsh because we don't do this all the time. But it's just so disappointing. It's just more of the same stuff we've had again and again and again. And why should we get excited next time there's a press release that says, this is epic, it's great, it's a great starting point for fans of this Doctor or this companion? We don't believe it anymore because it's just going to be the same thing. Don't shove all of these characters together. Pare things down a little bit. Do a bit less.
And you look at the reviews online, people are savaging.
It's just not anything. I'm sorry, everybody that put all this work into it, but I feel like maybe they're being forced to put all this work into this, and they probably, by the end of it, feel just like maybe they feel like they haven't made a great product. Because
can I make a comparison? Because we're currently, for our early days Big Finish, we're currently listening to The Wormery. Now that's, 1/8 of the length of this, yeah? And we've only done 3 episodes so far. And the amount of character drama and comedy and quirky ideas that have been in that in just 3 episodes. That's what Big Finish used to release.
But it's not just the early day stuff. We've loved that, the Quinn Dilemma, and things like that, and some of the Sontarans versus Routons, 1 hour things, spaced out, given character moments. The Quinn Dilemma was a lot of episodes, wasn't it? It was like 6 episodes, but it stopped and it had some time for these characters and it had some really standout moments. This had none of that. It's just plot. I just felt it was plot. Poor Lisa Bauman and Bonnie Langford in that cave spouting technobabble. They don't know what they're talking about.
Honestly,
they're just given a script, read a couple of these lines, you're done.
Our love for those two women,
I feel
knows no bounds.
Because
it's
making a mockery of their acting ability. There is no acting ability needed for any of these scenes that have been written.
I'll just get my one stab in.
Yeah.
To give Sophie Aldred this much material. Where I said McCoy's only in about 1/10 of it, she's in about 10/10 of it, of 8 hours.
But it makes sense to have Ace as a big part of the Seventh Doctor's life, of course, but just don't make it. Just put Sylvester McCoy in it a bit more, but just don't
understand what it was
these
saying about
alternative things, and this didn't exist, and
the
this
conclusion they
doesn't
draw
exist anymore. So
the conclusion they draw at the end of the story is that he's manipulated so many worlds that, of course, he ended up being evil. That's a really shit resolution to make about the Seventh Doctor.
But if
it should be that he juggles up all these worlds and he's a morally complex character. Not, just because you've done so many bad things, well, you're bad now and this is your last day and you're going to turn into a nice man again.
It's a great idea, but if you had this hour and it's centers on Sylvester McCoy and things are unraveling and he does this and something else goes wrong and it's getting darker and darker and darker, that's really interesting. We don't want a couple of minutes of that, and then we want to go and meet this woman from the Third Doctor Adventures that no one's ever heard of to celebrate the end of the Seventh Doctor. Let's get that woman in. Let's get Garandul and the Master and everyone else, and let's just have them chatting around being silly. We want, some actual drama. We want actual something going on.
You want it to be about people.
Yeah.
You want it to be
and
about people.
Hex
and
back and what happened to him.
And he just gets the same line over and over again. Where's my daughter? Where's my wife? And that's all he says.
And you bring Chris and Ross back and they're great. They're all brilliant actors and characters.
and have all been in better releases.
It just upsets us that it's just a waste of all of these resources and everyone's time and money at the end of the day.
I think we both just surrendered at one point.
And
the noise was just going in, but our brains just weren't engaging anymore. We were so unengaged.
There's no moment. Usually when we enjoy a release, we're like, that moment's really good. Or we look at each other and we're like, this is happening. None of that. There was
one moment that excited you.
Only that.
There was one excitement. We're on the beach,
moment.
And there's a bit where Sophie Aldred starts regenerating. Sorry, spoilers. But then even the structure of this is so weird because there's so many episodes, right? So they pull away from the cliffhanger and tell a completely different story. And was that resolved?
It was a bit later on, but you had to wait.
But it was like a line of dialogue, wasn't it? They didn't come back to the moment.
It wasn't.
So weird.
And also just the release of this months apart, part 1 and part 2. It feels like they were like, we filled up the CDs here, cut, and now and then you just get this second box set and carry on. So please do not get this box set just part 2 on its own. You will not know anything that's going on. And I think that's a really bad decision.
I don't know if this is true, but I have heard that Cardiff have taken a look at what Big Finish are putting out, have been putting out, and there is some creative control involved in that now.
We hope so, because they can't keep doing this. Please do not no more of this. We've had a lot of this. Just get a bit more creative and pare things down a bit, and just give us some actual drama and some actual.
This is. I'll summarise this. This is so generic.
Yeah,
it is so
that's it.
insubstantial. It is saying nothing
It'll put you
about
off Big Finish for life.
nothing. And it's so long. It's so unreasonably long. You have to invest a lot of money and a lot of time to discover absolutely nothing. And that's annoying. Go look at Gallifrey Base, where they're usually fairly kind. Everyone's saying they're very annoyed. It's just not great.
And if Sylvester McCoy is doing less and less, this is such a sad ending for this great character, and he's had some great moments, and this is the legacy that you give him.
This. Did you know
this is what you give him? I think they got him for a couple of hours.
Any of this.
He doesn't care anymore.
No.
You can't feel it. Nobody really cares. He's just
he gives a
I
shit.
think maybe they're like, well, we need 2 box sets this year for him. He's only in one day because he doesn't really want to do it and he's not particularly interested. We've therefore got to fill up 12 episodes of everyone else around him, and he can read his one day. He's paid, done. He doesn't have to come back to Big Finish till next year if he wants to. But if he doesn't want to,
what if he read the
and
script?
If it's the end, I'm not surprised. He doesn't have any enthusiasm. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's nothing there for him.
You know what?
They've got
everyone on the special features talking about this release, but not really about the content, because there is none.
There's no one can talk
and
about content.
I can only imagine that when the camera, the microphone went off, they all just went, I don't have a bloody clue what this is all about to you.
Not.
Just say the lines, all right,
not.
with meaning.
Yeah, that's the problem. So sorry, everyone.
I actually think comfortably, and it's because of the length I'm saying this, comfortably this is the worst thing that Big Finish have ever brought out, because the payoff is so little and my investment is so big. That's really all I've got to say. If there's another multi-doctor thing, I don't want to do an instant finish on it, because frankly, I don't want to waste my time. I'll wait till we get to it later in the run.
Yeah.
But I just do not want to waste another 8 hours of my life.
Also, good luck, the Big Finish podcast, reading out your positive reviews that you get for this one.
Oh, they'll find some.
Good luck finding any of those. If anybody's bothered to write in with a positive review, I'd be very surprised.
Do you know...
Anyway, we should finish now.
No, I was going to say, you might not think it, I really love Big Finish. I have a Big Finish podcast, for God's sakes.
We do
I'm
love
investing a lot of time in this company, and we're investing a lot of money in them as well. We fucking love Big Finish.
You bought these on CD. Prices are phenomenal.
This is just not good.
No, I'm sorry. Right, anyway, don't forget, everybody, don't listen to this. And remember to
Instantly
finish big.